Blake Lively's lawyer has officially resigned, citing that he can no longer be part of what he describes as a PR stunt that has spiraled out of control. Reuters has confirmed his departure in a newly published article. According to the attorney, the situation has become unmanageable, and even Blake appears unsure of her next steps. Given how strange and chaotic the case has become, his decision to step away comes as little surprise.
Everything is falling down for you guys because people perceive you as bullies.
Blake Lively's attempt to take down Justin Baldoni has dramatically backfired, so badly that her own legal team walked away before the final curtain call. On May 30, 2025, her high-profile Hollywood attorney, Daniel Keene, resigned in a public and explosive fashion. This wasn't a quiet exit or a discreet email. Keene made waves with a major data leak, a digital mic drop that laid bare the internal chaos surrounding the case. Keene, a seasoned attorney known for representing high-stakes and even criminally charged clients, had apparently reached his breaking point. Sources close to the situation say he believed the entire ordeal had devolved into a publicity-driven spectacle engineered by Lively herself. Insiders report he called the case so toxic and delusional that he'd rather represent a parking meter. The fallout was swift and severe. What started as a calculated PR move to undermine Baldoni has now morphed into a legal and reputational nightmare for Lively, one that threatens to unravel her public image, her credibility, and her career. With her own lawyer exiting in such a dramatic fashion, the case has gone from messy to utterly radioactive. Now, Blake Lively stands alone amid the chaos she helped ignite.
The New York Times actively vouched for the veracity of its false narrative.
We're talking 64 internal emails and 17 draft legal filings dumped straight into Justin Baldoni's legal team's inbox like a glitter-wrapped grenade. And this wasn't done out of revenge, it was because even Blake Lively's own attorney, Daniel Keene, couldn't take the chaos any longer. This wasn't just a resignation. He walked out with a memo bluntly titled *, "This will destroy you." That's not a notice, it's a funeral dirge for her career. Seriously, what kind of client gets that kind of exit message from their own lawyer? Keene didn't just distance himself, he sent up a flare on the way out. He didn't frame this as helping a client through a tough spot. He made it clear this was about stepping away from someone who started the fire, soaked it in gasoline, danced in the flames in designer heels, and expected applause. And now, the fallout is spreading fast. Even Taylor Swift, who once babysat Blake's kids and was one of her closest allies, reportedly telling friends that Blake has crossed a line that can't be uncrossed. In Hollywood, when Taylor Swift labels you a traitor, it's not just scandal, it's a career-ending detonation, complete with a chart-topping breakup anthem.
All evidence to come out that's proper and appropriate evidence.
Here's where things take a truly unsettling turn. You might expect this to have been a typical legal case, something grounded in facts, evidence, and real damages. But according to Blake Lively's former attorney, Daniel Keene, it was anything but. In his words, the entire lawsuit against Justin Baldoni was fanfiction in a blazer, a scripted fantasy stamped with a law firm's letterhead. When Keene blew the whistle, he didn't sugarcoat it. He labeled the whole ordeal, *narrative, litigation, *. So what does that mean? It means Blake didn't build a legal argument, she wrote a storyline. With input from her publicist Leslie Sloan, her assistants, and an unknown number of collaborators. She assembled a media-ready tale crafted, not for the courtroom, but for the court of public opinion. This wasn't lit, was showbiz wrapped in legal jargon. Keene revealed the filings included BuzzFeed-style one-liners, Deadpool references, and even casual name drops like Hugh Jackman, apparently under the belief that mentioning Wolverine would somehow lend credibility, and it spirals from there. Internal Slack messages show Blake explicitly instructed her team to work in at least 3 celebrity mentions per legal cycle, not for legal relevance, but to fuel online traction. The strategy had a name: shock and seal. The formula: leak something wild to the tabloids, let it explode online, then file a matching court doc to give it a veneer of legitimacy. This wasn't about justice, it was performance. A low-budget version of Scandal, minus the brilliance or precision. A courtroom turned stage, with Blake playing a role no one was buying.
Taylor Swift's new statement, of course, through her PR, about Blake Lively and some other craziness going on with this entire case.
Keene summed it up perfectly. *, this isn't a lawsuit. It's a BuzzFeed quiz in a courthouse, and he wasn't being dramatic. The only thing missing was a which emotionally manipulative legal tactic. Are you? Quiz with the top result being *, you're Blake. And if you thought that asterisk was rock bottom, buckle up and grab a shovel. Because Blake Lively didn't just chase headlines, she crossed a legal line. According to forensic analysts, she allegedly tampered with evidence, the one thing that actually matters in court. Specifically, she submitted altered text messages from 2018, trying to pass them off as authentic. But the metadata told a different story: sloppy edits, mismatched timestamps, and digital fingerprints all over the place. It was blatant. Practically insulting, like she tried to slip a fake text thread into a court exhibit the same way someone sneaks an inspirational quote into a vision board. That alone could bring serious court sanctions, not just for her, but possibly for her husband, too, for dragging the legal system into what experts are now calling a fabricated, frivolous circus. And yes, it somehow gets even stranger. Blake subpoenaed Justin Baldana's childhood therapist from decades ago. Why? No one can say. Maybe she thought there'd be testimony about his preschool snack time trauma. And just when you think it can't get more absurd, she targeted Taylor Swift's fitness coach, claiming they might have witnessed emotional patterns. Emotional patterns? What is this, a courtroom or a horoscope reading? This wasn't litigation. It was astrology, in a pantsuit.
And the Wayfair parties have withdrawn their harassing subpoenas to Taylor Swift and her law firm. We supported the efforts of Taylor's team to quash these inappropriate subpoenas directed to her counsel, and we will continue to stand up for any third party who is unjustly harassed or threatened in the process. Oh my God, what a big laugh.
And then, believe it or not, Blake Lively actually filed a legal document that opened with the line, asterisk, "I am the Jane Doe of modern Hollywood." No, seriously, that wasn't a courtroom defense, it was full-on trauma cosplay. Daniel Keene didn't sugarcoat it either. He called the filing trauma porn in Canva templates, and he wasn't wrong. This wasn't a legal argument. It was aestheticized victimhood, crafted for headlines, hashtags, and Instagram engagement, not for the scrutiny of a courtroom. But Blake wasn't done with the theatrics. She started dropping names like she was working a PR table at the Oscars. Melissa Nathan, Valden Inc., and Jaime Heath into the mix without a single piece of supporting evidence. No documents. No testimony. Just pure speculation and media bait. The court itself labeled it defamation by association, legal speak. For asterisk, she made it up. Asterisk, and then there was the subpoena she sent to Taylor Swift and her legal team. It was swiftly withdrawn after Taylor's lawyers fired back with a formal objection, because even the court saw it for what it was, a baseless fishing expedition wrapped in celebrity drama. This wasn't law. It was slander wrapped in iMovie transitions, peppered with Deadpool references, and featuring a cameo by a therapist no one could verify. Let's be honest, Blake knew exactly what she was doing. This wasn't about justice. It was about manufacturing chaos for the press. She built a media circus and forced her legal team to perform in it, whether they agreed or not. No wonder Keene walked away. The guy went to Harvard Law not to draft court filings that sound like rejected asterisk E, true Hollywood story asterisk scripts. When Keene finally hit his limit, the writing on the wall wasn't legal precedent, it was BuzzFeed headlines, GIFs, and subpoenas pulled from a fan fiction plotline. And when he realized he was being asked to legitimize a delusion built on ego, spectacle, and celebrity name-dropping, he didn't just resign, he set the exit on fire. He detonated the fantasy and left Blake's legal circus smoldering in the wreckage she created.